To the roadmap, Benzinga's new NFT show. We've had some great teams on past episodes: Pixel Vault, Art Blocks, the Vogu Collective, Robotos, the Doge Pound, Oni Force, Crypto Dads, Dizzy Dragons, Supduck, and more. Today, we have the team from Lazy Lions joining us on this 6 p.m. Eastern Time special edition of the roadmap. Stay tuned, everyone. We've got a great show coming up. This is the roadmap. All right, everyone. Yeah, if you did not hear me at the start, Benzinga's new show, The Roadmap, covering NFT news and doing interviews with top projects out there. And we've got a great interview coming up tonight. But before I talk about that, let me go ahead and bring on my co-host, Maz. Maz, what's going on, buddy?
Yo, what's going on, Chris? It's a pleasure to be here. It's Monday, so it's throwing off stuff a little bit. Different time, different day. It's going to be a great episode, man.
Yeah, we air Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. We're 3 days a week now, but we had the opportunity to get this team on a stream live at night, and we said, of course, let's go, because, Maz, Lazy Lions, we talk all the time about projects. We talk about community. This is a big one, and they're showing up in the chat already. They've got 86,000 people in the Discord, almost 50,000 followers on Twitter. And this isn't a new project. This minted back in August, and this community is just getting stronger and stronger.
Absolutely. So funny story, right? We first found out about this community when we shot an episode, and then the comments, they started, talking in the comments. We tweeted something out, Benzinga. I don't know if you remember that, Chris. And the tweets went crazy. So Benzinga is now. So, thank you guys for tuning in. And it's going to be a great episode.
Yeah, the chat spoke, right? And also, Maz, you saw it, right? We put out a couple tweets sharing the preview of this video, right? And the engagement on those tweets was insane. And that's how we know that there is going to be a lot of people here, a lot of people excited for this interview when we get that kind of crazy engagement on Twitter. So if you guys are new to the roadmap, please like this video. Please subscribe to Benzinga's channel. Again, we air the roadmap Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Maz, before we get into the interview, I think we need everyone in the chat to roar, right? I want to see some roars out there, and we can play our trailer and get started with this interview. Again, Maz, this minted at 0.05. We've got a floor price of over 1. It's sold out in its first day. And again, this was back in August, so a different time than what we're seeing now. There come the roars here.
Let's go. Let's run up the roars and then let's play this trailer.
Everyone,
let's hype it up.
Keep the roars going. Let's get those roars going, guys. It's Monday night here in the U.S., but I know everyone is joining us from different countries, different time zones. That's something we're going to get into in the interview later. They've got a nice base of users from different areas, and I love that they break that down. But yeah, I think we've got enough roars now, Maz. What do you think?
Let's run it. Let's hear it. Let's see the trailer.
How about that at the end? Love it.
That gasses me up, man. I'm excited. Let's do it.
All right. So joining us on the roadmap today, we have Asher, the co-founder of Lazy Lions, and Nine, the developer. Got to go ahead, bring these guys on the stream. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's up, fellas?
Man, that was an entrance. Thank you for that.
We've been doing that lately where we do these trailers. We love putting those trailers out, on Twitter, getting some engagement built up, but it's a great way to bring on our guest, right? It's almost like entrance music to play you guys onto the stream. So we're glad that you liked it, and we're super excited to have you guys on the stream and also this loyal community in the chat right now.
This community is amazing, and I know they've been like super excited for this one. So yeah, this is definitely going to be exciting. And I just noticed now as I'm looking at the screen, I came in a bit more casual with my hoodie, but and I see you've got the Real Madrid shirt and all that. Nine came suited up.
On the suit for this one. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, let's dive into some questions. Before we get into Lazy Lions, one of the first questions I always like to start with is, tell us about your experience with NFTs prior to Lazy Lions. Were you collectors? Were you investors? Or was Lazy Lions your first entry into the NFT space? Let's start with Nine on this one and hear from you.
Yeah, sure. So NFTs for us was very interesting, actually, because when we first started, we were very into sort of like games. So we used to play a lot of games when we were younger, and then we started to learn about, crypto. It first started when we got into cryptocurrencies. We learned a little bit about that and it started to move into NFTs. I personally hadn't actually collected any NFTs at the time, but it just tied in, like the way that I understood it was like, oh yeah, it's on the blockchain, proof of ownership. There was rarity factor involved, and that just took me back to our younger days when we used to play games, and it just resonated with us. And then we spoke about it, and we're like, yeah, this space is going to blow up, and we knew it. And then we started to work together and get into the NFT space and start pretty much building Lazy Lions from the ground up. That's really how it started. I personally didn't collect any. I know Ash, I think he bought one, but yeah, he'll touch on that more.
Yeah, Ash, let's hear from you. What NFTs were you in before Lazy Lions?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just to answer that question as well. So I've been in coding. So me and I, way back when 10, 15 years ago, we used to code up different things and then, take them to market. That was always like a lot of fun. With crypto for me, I wasn't like a big crypto guy, like even during the ICO in 2017. Didn't get into that. Knew the thing. DeFi, that really interested me because I saw the value and it made a lot of sense. It still makes a lot of sense, but it didn't hit me as like, oh, this is going to be a really big thing because I couldn't see it being like a cultural impact. But NFTs, for me, it was beginning of this year, and as soon as I started looking into it deeper, I was just like, it clicked on to me. I'm like, this is not going anywhere. Like digital ownership, like we grew up, playing video games where you spent all that time and energy and money as well, but you could never take that thing outside of the game. And it's like, now you can actually do that. It's just, so for me, it's a no-brainer. This is definitely not going anywhere. One of my favorite NFTs actually, before Lazy Lions, and I have this in our bungalow. And a bungalow is an NFT that we dropped where you can showcase your other NFTs. It's actually a Forgotten Runes character. And this probably ties in with what Nine was saying. We're big gamers, grew up playing RuneScape, love that game. And that little guy, like he just reminds me so much of my childhood. I tell you, I don't know how much that could go up in value, but I don't think I'm ever going to sell it. So I guess a collector before Lazy Lions, if you want to.
I've been trying to get it off him, but he won't budge. So
yeah, it sounds like he's not going to sell it. Well, awesome. Love hearing the video game talk as well. That's a common thing that we hear from different people behind NFT projects. Nine, you mentioned a little bit, you two, getting involved together. Wondering if we can hear more of the background. How did this team come to be, and why the decision, to launch Lazy Lions? Why a lion? Why this type of artwork? Any behind the scenes insight there?
Yeah, sure. So it first started, I think it was actually my birthday when we first started discussing like cryptocurrencies, and we started getting into it, and we were talking about different coins that we were interested in. And then later down the track, I believe it was Asher that came up to me. He's like, "Hey man, have you heard of NFTs?" I was like, "Yeah, I've heard of them. They're pretty much just like JPEGs, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, but you can actually own, like you can see who actually owns those NFTs, and there's a rarity factor." And it all just started resonating from there. And we're like, you know what? This makes sense. This makes sense to us, being video game players back in the days. It all, like, proof of ownership was a big thing for us. Being able to actually prove that you own this NFT just made sense to us. And we started, just discussing it, and we sort of just branched out to the team as well, and they all understood the idea. And then pretty much from there, we just thought, you know what? Let's just think of the next best thing. And with us, we always went back to our heritage. So lions were pretty much a part of our heritage because we're from an Assyrian descent. So that just resonated with us, and we just went full throttle with that. That's where it all started.
Yeah, I mean, just a few other things as well, like the whole kings and queens thing. Hopefully my audio is working better now. I'm using AirPods, and I realized it was a different setting. like just growing up, like we've always referred to each other as kings, right? Like even just with mates around. And I feel like that's something that's just hit off really well with the community. And it's probably a small thing. Like there might be people in the audience outside of the Lazy Lions community going, oh, it's just calling each other king or queen. But I think it goes more than that. Like it ties in with our values, which is, yes, we're all kings and queens, but no one's above anyone else. And I feel like that's something that resonates with a lot of people in Web3. So yeah, just a few little things like that.
Love that. So guys, so the floor is over 1 ETH. You guys have over 86K in Discord, over 49K on Twitter. So how do you guys personally measure the success of this project? Let's start with you, Asher, if you can tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's interesting. Like there are a few different ways you can look at it, and that we do track, right? Like obviously we've got our own KPIs that, you know, we've had, you know, really smart people who know the ins and out of the whole economics behind it, you know, tell us what metrics we should be looking at, and the community knows it. It ties in with our mission, which is simply it's to become the biggest and best NFT community there is. That's our mission. Obviously, we're a bit biased. We think we've already got one of those, but to be the biggest is very black and white. So that's what we're aiming for. Not to put anyone else down. I love some of the other projects that are out there, but that's just our mission anyways, right? So that's one way that we track success. But that's more quantitative. Like qualitative, just speaking with community members, the vibe, particularly in this dip right now, I feel like for me, that's what really just reassures me that we're on the right path. Just, you know, you jump into the Discord, you see what's being posted, you have chats with community members. I try to spend a fair bit of my time just having those like one-on-one chats with community members. I feel like that's a really important thing. Like just like really like, hey, like how are things going? Like, you know, what do you feel's blocking us? Like real deeper conversations. And that's just been like, it's not obviously like all positive. Like there are always things that we can be improving on, but overall it feels like we're on the right track. So that's the way we measure it. Yes, we've got data, but having those conversations with community members tells me we're on the right track.
Love that. Yeah, Sam, I like to hop into Discord and, you know, you see the activity level. You know, there's been so many Discords throughout this period that are just dead, you know, because we're kind of in a bearish market. So there's no one, you know, having conversation. Seeing you guys have this activity is amazing. How about you, Nine? How do you measure the success of the project?
Yeah, so similar to what Ash said, I think for me personally, it's measuring the success of the project is just jumping into the Discord and seeing how active it is on a daily basis, being able to hold these conversations with, you know, my team members and, you know, moderators and community members, and we're all on the same page. We all understand what we're here to do, and just seeing how active for me personally, because I'm more around the community, is just how active it actually is, and seeing the word being spread out on Twitter, spread out in Discord, that really just resonates with me. So
love that. So can you guys tell us a little bit more about bungalows and how they you know, come into the Lazy Lion world?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I guess when we started, right, like we had a few things in mind for the roadmap. And we didn't want to be different just for the sake of being different, but at the same time, it was very obvious to us that if we just, I guess, copied what other projects were doing, like we could find our own way, I think, but that was a bit lame. Like that's not what we're about. We're in a new space. I think there's a really good opportunity for us to build something unique, and that's fun to us, right? And something that we noticed during our research of NFTs, like at the beginning of the year, was like, how do you show these things off? That was the question I had. And I spent a fair bit of time looking into that. I still feel like there's no great solution in real life. And if anyone has something like, a great way to like show them off in frames or whatever, DM me on Twitter. I'd love to know, because I want to print out, obviously my line and a few other art pieces. But that's in the real world. In in the digital world, how do you show these things off? I've seen a few like social media websites, but nothing great. So just to us, it was like, well, Twitter banners aren't being used. Profile photos are. What if we could show off NFTs in the Twitter banner? And sticking with our values as well, which is to be inclusive rather than being exclusive, which I think a lot of other projects really focus on. They're trying to build this exclusive community, and that works for them, and that's great. But we're different to that. We're trying to, we're aiming to be inclusive. So Sticking with that nature, it's like you don't just have to show off your Lazy Lions NFTs. With our new Bungalows DApp, which is on bungalows.lazylionSNFT.com, you can edit any bungalow you have to include any NFT that you own, even if it's not Lazy Lions related. So yeah, that's how it works. It's a bit of background as to why we got it.
That's awesome. So me and Chris like to ask this question on to our guests every episode. What are some of your favorite traits from the Lazy Lions? Are there any unique traits that you particularly like that no one knows about? Let's start with you, Nine. Can you tell us a little bit more? Which lions do you like the best, or what traits do you like the most?
That's a good question. That's a great question.
Which ones are the ones that are being slept on that you personally love?
Honestly, I think personally, I used to love really like the Lederhosen trait. It is one of the ones that I had originally as my PFP. Well, my lion had it. It had the Lederhosen shirt, anime eyes, and I believe it had the halo. Just looked very innocent, so I was like, yeah, this one resonates with me. But I think that one's a little bit slept on as well. It's it is one of the rare ones as well, but you don't see too many people actually with it. So yeah, that's really my choice.
Awesome. What about you, Asher?
Man, there's a couple. I'm a big party hat guy.
Party hat.
A big party hat guy just because of the whole childhood thing. But these hoodies are fire, I think. And I know I'll get a bit of stick if Aaron, he's part of our team as well. He's a community manager. I know he loves the lazy hat. So that one should probably get some recognition as well. I think that one's probably cool. A fan favorite. Yeah.
Seeing awesome. Some call outs for steak mouth in the chat as well. It looks like there's some fans of the meat and the steak out there in the chat right now.
That guy's hoarding about 50 steak mouths. That's why.
That's why. So there's a little bit of a bias going on. I see. Oh man. Well,
sorry, there's a little bit of a little trait combo that I like as well. So if you have if there's a scratched body and they have a ripped shirt, you can see the scratches underneath the shirt, which just comes out really nice. So that's a little thing that I sort of go for as well. That I like.
Nice call out there.
What about you guys, Chris?
I seeing them, I like the steak right there. And again, I know there's someone in the chat, biased towards that, but I like the steak. I like the party hat. I know there was the halo. Some of the different the headpiece traits I like, but I also have seen some real clean ones too. That are impressive. What about you, Mass?
Football jersey, big football guy. And then I do like anything Ethereum based from any collection. I'm always trying to find is there an Ethereum chain or anything like that? I saw you guys have an Ethereum business shirt. I like that one as well. So yeah, exactly. That one right there. So always those little subtle pieces. I think that's cool.
Nice.
Definitely. All right. Well, you guys also have rewards for your owners to reward the community members. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, absolutely. This has probably been one of the biggest, I guess, catalysts of the project, particularly at the beginning, at the early stages. Sorry. So to put it simply, right, rewards is what it sounds like. It's a rewards program exclusively for Lazy Lion holders. So this is one of the advantages or, I guess, utility of being a Lazy Lion NFT holder. Every month you're eligible for rewards in the form of ETH by completing activities that benefit the project. So, community engaging activities, and part of those, they change from month to month, but one of those might be, setting your profile photo on Twitter to your Lazy Lion NFT, and a few other little things like that. And that might be why you see, quite a few, of our holders changing their profile photo to the lines, particularly at the early stages. But what we found now, it's really interesting, right? And I should probably explain why we did this, but what we've seen is it was a good reason. It was a reason why a lot of people, I guess, came to the project. But what's happened now is it's become so insignificant where they love their line so much they don't really care about rewards anymore. That's a lot of the feedback that we get. It's yeah, that was really nice at the beginning, but it's now I love my profile photo so much, I'm not going to change it, even if you were to pay me to change it. So it's it's sort of changed how they view it. But I think it's important to explain why we did this. it's sort of like a marketing expense, I guess, if we look at it that way, like from the project's point of view. Like I know a lot of other collections, and this isn't me bashing anyone else, but go down the route, which is the easy route of, paying like an influencer to change their profile photo, and paying a large amount of sum, one influencer change their profile photo, great. We saw that as a bit cringe, and we're like, is there another way to do this? But obviously we still need to do marketing, like obviously the project needs to be marketed. And we're like, what if instead of just giving it to one celebrity or influencer, what if we just give that to the community? And instead of just one big amount to one person, we just spread it out to the community. We're like, well, that ties in with the whole, Web3 earn model. So that's how we went, and we just created a system that allows us to do that. Essentially, the community gets rewarded for marketing the project, and I feel like that's worked wonders for us. And yeah, I mean that's my opinion, but I think if you jump on Twitter and you just look at all the activity from Lazy Lion holders, it feels like it's sort of evolved beyond that as well, which is pretty cool.
This is awesome, dude. This is some alpha for anybody looking to start a project.
Yeah,
because
seriously.
I noticed that.
There's your marketing right there,
Yeah.
everyone. If you're looking to create an NFT project, yeah,
honestly, it really is.
What a great way. Love that. And look at the numbers you guys have too in building the community, and the community, I mean, being so loyal months after the launch. So clearly that rewards is working. I saw a picture on Twitter that you guys had a meetup in New York City, some Lions holders. Were you guys involved in that? Have you met any Lions holders? And talk to us about future events for Lion holders.
Hey, the Kings. Oh man, I wish we were there. So we're still in lockdown here in sunny Sydney. So I think we're just now starting to get out of lockdown, but as soon as we can fly out, like best believe we'll be meeting up with Lazy Lion holders. But no, that was community led. A lot of really good feedback actually from that one. Everybody seemed to really enjoy themselves. But yeah, that was all community led. But we'll definitely look at doing more of those things as soon as we're able to fly out.
That's awesome. I mean, showing the initiative by the community there. I mean, that's something we don't see out of every project, doing these, these meetups. So another great sign of how big this community really is. I did see, that there are quite a few celebrities that also own Lazy Lions. That's something we talk about a lot on the show here. A lot of athletes, Des Bryant, Josh Hart, Seth Curry, Tyrese Haliburton. Also, we've got Jake Paul, Ja Rule. Talk to us a little bit. I know you guys didn't go after all these celebrities. What does it mean to see some of them get involved in the project in terms of validation going forward?
Man, it's really cool. It's really cool. But just in general, just with the community, like what I know it's sort of gone away from the question, but just what we've got 4,600 holders, like jumping into the Discord. Like I sometimes find myself just going like, well, like, is this sort of like a dream? Like you sort of just have to step back. You're like, am I just gonna wake up and then damn, like we're back in, August. This never happened. We're just, continuing on with whatever else we were doing. So it's sort of surreal like that, just with the community, which is a really cool thing. But no, I mean like the celebrities and the athletes, that's been all organic. Sorry, like nothing from us, anyways. Like the team specifically bringing in those ones. But yeah, I think it's really cool. Like it just goes to back, I guess, their belief in either the project and the community, or it's probably because they resonate with the art as well. Like from a few of the things that I've seen commented, which I guess makes sense. Everyone feels like a lot of people feel like they're aligned, particularly athletes. So yeah, it's all good.
Awesome. I got to highlight Tyrese Haliburton for a minute because we talked about him last week on the show, because the big news was that he wore a pair of sneakers during an NBA game featuring his Bored Ape on his shoe. So my question for you is, has there been any talks of Tyrese Haliburton having his lion on his shoe? Is that something you guys would love to see? And what has the reaction been from the community of that possibility?
Man, I think that's so cool. Hey, like now that we're seeing NFTs going into culture like that, man, yeah, that's that's awesome. I've got a lot of respect for Bored Apes as well. I mean, they've sort of paved the way for a lot of projects out out here, right? No, I think it'd be really cool if you wanted to do something like that with the Lazy Lions. I mean, I don't know. How's the community feel about that? What do you reckon, guys?
Yeah, guys, in the chat, let us know. I mean, I'm seeing a comment here, Win Lion Shoe. Is that something you guys would love to see, an NBA game with Lazy Lion sneakers being worn? I know we got a ton of press about the Bored Ape shoes last week, and it was really cool to just see an NFT, on a shoe in real life. There it is on screen. And Haliburton's changed his shoes, pretty much every game. So I have a feeling that he's not done. And there's his Lazy Lion there on screen. So can we get that on a shoe? I think that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome. You called it, Chris. Let's see it. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. The crowd would be roaring, David says. Great comment there, David.
All right, guys. So back to the Discord really quick. So again, you guys have over 80K Discord members. I'm sure we've all been in crazy Discords where they're spamming and just out of control. So what do you guys do to manage the Discord?
Man, we've got a great team, and that's not just not just the community managers that we have in there, but even the moderators as well. And I think anyone in the community would back that up. A lot of people I could shout out individually, but yeah, the mods, the community managers, like support team, and even just like we've got like different roles. Like we have one called like a Raw King, sorry, and these are like community members that are sort of like self-appointed by the community itself. It's funny. It's like we don't even choose. It's like it's very obvious who should be this role, and they're the ones that are sort of leading the community outside of the actual moderators. And I feel like the community itself just does a great job of like self-governing. Like if somebody comes in and sends somebody something that they shouldn't, it's very quickly resolved by itself, which is just a beautiful thing. So it's like even though we've the more and more we scale up and grow, it hasn't been too much of the problem. But yeah, that's how it sort of does it. So it doesn't get like, it gets crazy at times for sure, especially on like, launch days and like rewards, especially. And we've got that one coming up this Friday. When the bounties are sent out, it gets pretty wild on that day, which is a bit of fun. But no, it's all governed quite well, I think.
That's awesome. How active are you guys both in the Discord? And do you have any like favorite channels in there?
Yeah, I'm probably a bit too active in the in the Discord, considering like I'm also like leading up like the product team, and obviously like just trying to keep my eyes on everything else in the project. But man, it's just so addicting being in the Discord. Like, what do you reckon, Dan? Like, it's just like it's hard not to be.
It's easy to get caught up in the moment, and then you're just sitting there for like half an hour just chatting back and forth with everybody in the in the community.
And I think you get FOMO too, like you want to scroll back and see what you've missed.
That's right. Yeah, you sit there scrolling through your phone for a little bit, just trying to catch up with everybody and what they're saying. But in terms of favorite channel, I would have to say it's probably Cabana Bar. That's our main channel for Lazy Lion holders. So it's sort of it's only available to them. But when that channel starts to pick up, it really starts to pick up, and there's a lot of great discussions that are held in that channel. So yeah, you learn a lot, and it's great speaking with the community, specifically Lazy Lion holders. And then that would be probably my favorite channel, I'd say. There's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
Love that. So we've seen a lot of Discord hacks over the last couple of weeks, Discord, Twitter hacks, different kinds of schemes going on there. Are you guys taking any precautions towards, protecting the Discord? Let's start with you, Nine.
Yeah, sure. So recently we've done like an audit of our bots just to ensure that there's no leftover bots that are lurking that we sort of don't need. We started to remove majority of our webhooks. I know they can be a little bit risky. In regards to so I know that one of the Discords apparently got into it because of a webhook. So we started to just review the webhooks, make sure they're all clean, make sure there's nothing that we don't know about. We've started to leave sticky notes in each of our channels. I know that sometimes you can get DMs from fake collab lands when you try and verify your NFTs. So we have sticky notes that just say make sure just confirm that it's the correct collab land. Watch out for scams. It deletes the full history of that channel, so nobody can see so no collab land can sort of see who's typing !join to verify their NFT. So just little things here and there to really just clean up the Discord, make sure there's nothing that's sort of left over to ensure the safety of the community members. That's what we've been doing, and we'll continue to make sure that nothing happens.
Yeah,
Nice.
pretty much that. And I mean, because our Discord is like so important to us as well, right? Like it's so like it's front and center of our of like the project strategy, right? And like that's what we're really trying to grow and build a community, because like we've always said, right, like the project is the community is the project, and like we're making our bet on the Discord platform. That's not to say it's perfect. Like I feel like there's there's a few things that I'd love to suggest with the Discord team members, and just things that I think would benefit the platform. Overall, particularly as like NFT and crypto is becoming more and more of a thing that's using Discord, because like we've got so many important parts of this. Like we've got like a professional networking section, because it's funny, it's sort of gone away from the question, but it sort of ties into like what's the value of an NFT. Like that's a question that I've had asked a few times, particularly for people that aren't in crypto. Like, why would you get an NFT? Like, what do you actually get out of it? And I'm like one of the most obvious things is the community. And some people just look at that and go, oh, like, what is that? And it's like, well, like, it's just because they're cartoon characters. I think the stigma is like people think it's little children or like fat kids in their mother's basements that are buying these NFTs, right? And it's like that's definitely not the case, right? Like we're speaking with with like C-level executives, with doctors, with lawyers, like whatever industry they're in, reporters, like people at the top of their industry, right? Or like really smart, intelligent people. So it's like, how much does it cost to get into like a professional networking? Like org, like well, what's the cost of that to be a part of that and to create those kind of connections, right? And that's something we've doubled down on. So we have like a whole professional networking section in the Discord. Like we have gaming sections, marketplace, like all these other things. So it's really critical to us, and security is really important as well. And those hacks are pretty scary. So it's just things that like what Nine said, those are some of the things that we're doing to make sure that all stays secure.
Love that. So you actually just led me on to the next question I had for you guys. I'm gonna have Alyssa pull up this chart here. So someone posted this in the tweet last night, and it's interesting because it breaks down all the demographics, right? So there's 4.6 owners. Yeah. So this is really interesting, right? Gender, 92% male, 8% female. Top 3 age groups: 26 to 35 leads the way. 36 to 45 is second. See, I wouldn't have guessed that. 19 to 25-year-olds is third. This one too, 53% are married, 44% are single, 60% no kids, 33% 1 to 2 kids. Can you guys tell us a little bit more about all these stats, man? This is really cool.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Hey, I think some of those numbers would love for them to be a little bit different, particularly because we are. I think if you compare it to the average, would probably be a bit better, particularly in terms of having more females in the project. Being inclusive is obviously one of our core values, rather than being exclusive. But this was just part of a survey that we did a while back. And it's interesting. Like target market is 25 to 45-year-old males, obviously high disposable income as well. But it's definitely interesting. We thought other brands would be, would love to see that kind of information, particularly now as we've got the collectibles. Probably sneak peeking a bit too much at that by just talking about that, but that's something that we've got coming out quite soon, and I think it's an opportunity for we've had so many requests to do like collabs, so many projects that have hit us up and be like, hey, can we do something? And we just haven't done anything with them, particularly because we just haven't wanted to pay like any influencers. That's not been our strategy. Find it really cringe. It just goes against our values. So this is an opportunity for us to actually partner up with brands in a meaningful way. So that's why we shared that data. And I think it's quite valuable data to anyone in NFTs. But yeah, that was the reasoning behind it.
Awesome. So one of the things we've talked a lot about on the roadmap, obviously NFTs have seen huge interest this year. And we also have news that Coinbase, a leading crypto platform, is launching their own NFT marketplace. So they actually polled their audience asking for favorite NFT communities. And of course, the Lions community came through and roared, and Coinbase actually retweeted, and they said, roar louder for the people in the back, please. Tell us what this means. Have you been in talks with Coinbase at all, or is this just validation that Coinbase sees the large community here?
It's one of those things where I probably shouldn't say too much, maybe just because I can't say too
If
much.
you
But I
can't
think,
comment, you can't
yeah.
comment. But that might be enough
But-
there just to say that you can't comment. So maybe we got it out of you anyways.
but I think it's really cool. All right, I think it's really cool, and it's really exciting time. So we'll see what we'll see what happens with the platform. I know we've all got a lot of hopes, but at the same time, like we've got to be a little bit skeptical. Like there's a bit of pressure on them to make sure everything comes out well. It's not a guarantee or anything. Like we saw what happened with like Google Plus, right? Just because you're the biggest doesn't mean it's going to be a guarantee. But I think the fact that they're moving into NFTs and they're focusing on it is extremely bullish, right? So I've got high hopes, and they got my support for sure.
Love it.
Personally,
Google
anyways.
Plus. Wow, taking me back there. I definitely
Yeah.
had a Google Plus account where I would share links to articles that I wrote to try to get increased page views. But yeah, Google Plus died an unfortunate death there. But yeah, that's a phrase I haven't heard in a while. I think we have AR in the chat, and I believe there was a mention of a tattoo. We do have a picture and a video of this tattoo. Again, we talk to a lot of NFT teams, right? And we occasionally see strong engagement, and we do not see too many tattoos. So tell us a little bit about, why this tattoo came to be. Looks like AR, called out for the floor price and then got the tattoo. Is this something you guys knew about ahead of time, and how did the community react?
Man, I think everybody loved it. Like, look at how clean that thing
That's
looks
dope.
as well. Like, man, whoever the tattoo was, like, yeah, that was some really good work. But no, that was all. Mate, that was something he called out back when we first launched it. I remember seeing that, and it was like, what did he say? It's like when we reach 2 ETH, I'm gonna get my line. Was that And I remember looking at that, and like obviously, like I'm extremely bullish on what we're doing because I've got complete belief in the team. So like from the early days, I was like, sure, like we can achieve whatever we set our minds to, right? And I still believe that. So I was like, this guy's gonna have to get a tattoo of his life.
That is a sweet looking tattoo. I mean, love watching that video. It's so clean. So shout out to the artist too. But yeah, I mean, seeing someone get a tattoo, I mean, that's great validation for the longevity of this project and the community. So, and AR in the chat, I mean, nice looking tattoo, and thanks for joining us for the stream today. Along with the tattoo talk and validation, another area where we've seen NFT projects, connect with their community is we just had Halloween, and I saw some Lazy Lions Halloween costumes. Is that something that you guys, called for? Did a contest at all, or is this just people hopping in because they wanted to dress as their lion?
Yeah, this was purely community based. When I actually saw that image and retweeted it on the main Twitter account, I thought it was absolutely awesome that people were getting so involved. I love that lazy hat as well. It looks so clean. I want it personally, but no, that was just completely community driven. We didn't hold a competition. They just went out of their way, and it was just beautiful to see.
That's awesome. I mean, what a cool Halloween costume. That is a sweet looking hat too. Keep that in mind, any Lions in the chat. If you're looking for a Halloween costume next year, I know it's a year away, but start planning to work on your lion costume now, so you can be ready. You mentioned a little bit about collectibles, right? So we got a little bit of a teaser there. One of the things, we are called the roadmap after all, is we always try to hear about, what's next. So I know you guys can't share too much, but can we get a little bit more information on collectibles and maybe what's ahead for Lion holders?
Nine, if you don't have a problem, I mean, why not? Like I've got a lot of respect for this show, so yeah, let's sneak peek.
Oh man, let's
do
it.
Let's go, roar everyone in the chat. Let's go.
All right, so essentially this ties in with our values and like our mission as well, right? Which is obviously like our value is one of our values is rather than being an exclusive community, which I know a lot of other projects are focusing on being, which is fine, and like that works really well, and I've got a lot of respect for a lot of other projects. I would never bash another one, but like ours is to be inclusive rather than exclusive. So we're trying to build obviously the biggest NFT community. That's our mission, and part of that is bringing in new people that aren't necessarily in NFTs right now. And I feel like we sort of shoulder that responsibility as we're becoming, just from what other people have told me, it seems like we're becoming one of the leading projects now, at least like in the top, I think like on OpenSea, like top 40 or all-time traded, those type of things. So I feel like we have a responsibility to actually, to try and lead the space and bring in new people into the community rather than just, those existing members who already have NFTs. And I think the challenge is, because it's still so early, like the interfaces and everything, it's not super easy to get into it. Like, just the act of having to create a wallet and minting and gas, it's sort of like blah, so it's like if you're telling a friend or family member or someone that coworker about NFTs and they're not in it already, it's like, hey, we've got a Lazy Lion, this community is amazing. Oh, cool, how much is it? It's like 1/8. And they look up 1/8, they're like, what? Like, that's not how I'm gonna get started, right? So it's like, okay, how can we still have those people still becoming part of the community without having to fork out that much straight away? And that's where this sort of referral program collectibles thing came to mind. So essentially what it is every community member or every new person that you invite to the community, all they have to do is join Discord and they will get a pack of tokens for free that they can claim on our website. And this pack will be a random, it'll be a set of cards themed, like we had Halloween. Next one will be Thanksgiving, right, which is what we've got planned. So that's probably a sneak peek, a bit more than I should. So it'll be, a set of eight Thanksgiving cards. And every pack that you open, you'll get 2 random ones. And the idea is complete the set and you enter to win a Lazy Lions NFT. So this way, anyone who's not in the community already can just join the Discord, get a pack. And if they want to get more packs, they just invite more people. And we cover the gas completely. These tokens appear on OpenSea. They can list them for free without having to pay any gas. That's all covered. So someone could come in, not pay a single cent, get one of the rarer tokens, list them, and then make a profit or try and complete the set and win a prize. And I think it just ties in, like we said, with our values, gives them an opportunity to experience what minting is, and then bring them in the ecosystem and understand the true benefits of Web3. So, bit of a lengthy explanation, but yeah, that's what the collectibles idea is.
That's
and
awesome.
when does that
no,
launch?
we appreciate the background there. Yeah, when's the launch?
Yep. So right now that is in we got like a soft beta internally. That's scheduled for launch next week. So we've got rewards this week.
Oh wow,
which is our big thing, and then we've got this coming out next week.
that's awesome.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty exciting. You'll definitely see. I think this will, we'll see how it goes, but I can see it having a pretty positive effect, particularly on our
I think so. Yeah. We've seen some of these card ones do well too. And that's a great way, like you said, to bring new people into the community, and also the referral program. I'm a big fan of that. So, we wish you luck with that. And thanks for breaking that news here on the roadmap. It's always exciting to, hear what's next from these projects. And, I think the community out there is loving this.
Absolutely. I mean, that's amazing. Bringing new people in is the biggest part of the game. That's really awesome. Let's take it to, we have some questions from the chat here. The first question that I saw earlier in the interview today, we had a question from Brendan Bald. He's asking, do you guys have any plans or hopes to develop the IP into film or TV or even comic books?
So the cool thing is I've already seen a few projects do it. And I think they're just, they hold the Lazy Lions NFT themselves. Once you hold it, you're able to go and create these things yourself. Us personally, like, we're open to it, but there's no immediate plans for it. But I've seen a few cool things, going around on Twitter.
Yeah, love that. Let's see. Do we have any more questions from the chat here, Chris, that we want to?
I think we got most of the questions answered. People loved hearing the Coinbase conversation again, and people loving this roadmap talk. We're seeing merch now asked from Morgan. You guys, I think do you have some merch already, or plans for merch in the works?
We've got merch in the works. So I've seen what's been being worked on. I think the community's gonna love what we release with this. So yeah, not quite yet, but that's in the works. It's coming out soon.
Perfect. And then Maz, how about that question there from Breezy in the chat? That could be a fun one there.
Oh yeah. So when Arizona Iced Tea collab, can you guys tell us more about that? Is that a rumor, or is this question coming out of nowhere?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like official going on. What's nice is it sort of ties back into the collectibles tap, because now, like, if there are any brands listening as well, because I feel like there's definitely an opportunity for brands who are wanting to get into NFTs, particularly with like more established projects. At least for us, this is an opportunity for us to actually partner up with brands in a way that's actually beneficial for everyone involved. So if we're doing those bi-weekly releases of collectible cards, and one of them might be Arizona themed, just for the sake of argument. But yeah, nothing official, but we're definitely open to it.
Love that.
Perfect. Yeah, I did see Arizona as one of the owners mentioned in the celebrity spotlight on that cool graphic and the facts that we shared. So I think that's where maybe that rumor comes from. But we'll wait and we'll wait to hear more details from you guys in the future. Well, I think that's going to do it for today's interview. Nine, Asher, big thank you for both of you coming on our show. I know it's early morning where you guys are at. Your flexibility with doing this. Also, shout out to the Lazy Science community. I mean, Maz, look at them. They're in full force here in the chat during this whole interview. So shout out to Lazy Roar.
Absolutely. I mean, this has honestly been one of the biggest communities I've seen. And I personally measure it by the Twitter. I see on my Twitter, the profile picture. I mean, I see a lion, I would say 1 out of every 10, if that. I mean, you guys are killing it. I can't wait to have you guys come on again and just, do some updates in the future.
Yeah, man, this is a lot of fun. Like everyone's been waiting for it for a while. So this is heaps fun. It went by a lot quicker than I thought it would. Yeah, we're already almost at the hour. So that's how you know. But yeah, no, King's definitely open to doing this one again.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, well, we will have to have you guys back on. So thanks again, Nine and Asher. Before I let everyone go here, Maz, we do not have a show tomorrow. I know I said we're going Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Benzinga is hosting their FinTech Awards, and actually there's going to be some awards given in crypto and NFT categories. So if you're interested in the space, we have FinTech Awards airing live on YouTube beginning at 9 a.m. Eastern time and going all day. And also, if you're into crypto, we do have our Monday night show airing after this show is done with Ruel. He will be talking some metaverse crypto plays. I know I'll be sticking around to hear more from Ruel on that. But yeah, thanks for everyone for tuning in. And yeah, thank you. I mean, this chat, they're so appreciative too, Maz. Here I am trying to tell them thank you, and they're all thanking us.
Yeah, thank you guys. If you guys like this content, we're Benzinga. We're starting to test this out. We want to bring more NFT content. Make sure to like, subscribe, share this content. We're going to continue to bring more of it as the NFT community expands as well. So thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it.
Definitely. So stay tuned, everyone, for Ruel's report talking crypto plays, and we will see everyone on the roadmap on Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Take care.